First off, she gave me the wrong name. She said her name was Ashley, and her name was Danielle. So she gave me the wrong name. So the way I found out about it was.
Are we introducing ourselves now? All right.
Hey you guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is our first YouTube video, so we're pretty excited. We've been wanting to do a YouTube channel for the longest. We just never have gotten to get to it. But first things first, we want you guys to kind of get to know us better. So we're going to start off with a few questions.
When and where did we meet?
Where we met is not the ideal place to actually meet. So we met in a club. It was called the Zookar in Sacramento. And Danielle, she never usually goes to clubs. So like in my early college days, you know, me and my friends, we'd always go to the club. That was just like the thing we like to do. So I had met Danielle as she was walking through the club. So you know how the girls kind of do like a little chain lock thing. So she was with her friend, and they did this chain lock thing like into the club all the way through to go to the bath. But her friend was tugging her at the same time, so she did.
I just, you know, like I said, I'm not the kind of girl to go out. I've always been like a very homebody. And I decided that I wanted to go out with my best friend that night. And so, yeah, when we got there, we just wanted a girls' night out. I had a bright ass lime green dress on. I stuck out amongst a lot of people. And Chris had spotted me, you know, while across the floor. And yeah, like, you know, he tapped me on my shoulder. I had my phone at the very bottom of my purse, so I wasn't really trying to get my number out, really, but he said he was really like serious about me and he really wanted to get to know me. And I guess I just decided to pull out my phone towards the last part of the end of the club, and so I pulled it out and I gave him my number. So the second question is, where was our first date?
That's my remember.
Our first date was actually, well, at first our date, we met at the mall first. And then we decided to go to a duck park
Where there was just like, we didn't know what it was called, so we called it the duck park.
We didn't have a name of it or anything.
And first she had said, I had asked her, I was like, are you hungry? Do you want to go get something to eat? Because that's what you usually do like on first dates.
Yeah.
So she was just like, oh no, that's fine. I don't want to eat. Let's just go to a park. So like we ended up going to a park. That's why we call it the duck park. And we just ended up sitting like on a bench and just started talking. So I mean, you could talk, you could kind of talk more about that.
So then after, when we first pulled up, we found a cool park or whatever. It was a really nice day in the summer, and we both decided to sit down on the bench because the sun was facing us, and it was just really a beautiful day. And he had got tatted on his chest, so I noticed that instantly about him. He had nice muscles.
Well, I wasn't naked. But
well, you had a tank top on. And you had a tank top on.
Oh, okay.
And you had a tattoo on your chest, and I could tell it was like freshly done. So I noticed that instantly, and I thought it looked good. And so then after that, we were just trying to fill each other out, and then we decided to sit on.
Not physically fill each other out.
Yeah, we're just like looking at each other, kind of scoping, and we just kind of were getting to know each other and talking, like, you know, asking each other questions back and forth, and then. Before we knew it, the time was just ticking because I had school the next day. I had class, he had class, I had finals, and so we couldn't stay out too late, but we were enjoying the moment with each other. That it was just like we didn't want to like let each other go. But what was your first impression of me?
It took forever to even meet up with. First off, she gave me the wrong name. She said her name was Ashley. And her name was Danielle, so she gave me the wrong name. So the way I found out about it was I had called her, and her voice message had said, oh, you know, you reached Danielle. I can't come to the phone right now. So when I got a hold of her, she was basically kind of just giving me the runaround, dodging me, saying, you know, I can't meet up, or I'll meet you here, and then just like flake out on me. So she did that a few times, and like a few months went by. Yeah. And like the impression I got of her was, dang, maybe she's not really like interested in me. I don't know what's going on. So I had said, okay, you know, this is the last time I'm hitting you up. Like either you want to, go out with me and go on a date, or you just aren't interested. So that's what had happened. I sent this angry text message, and eventually she ended up saying, okay, let's meet up. And that's kind of what had happened. So
so when he sent me the last message, when I got that, I finally realized, like, this guy really wants to get to know me, and I felt kind of bad. And I was actually on my way from being out of town. I went to a barbecue over the weekend. I was visiting my family, so I was on my way driving back to Sacramento. And so when he sent that to me, I could feel his emotions through the phone. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull over on the nearest exit. And so I decided to kind of fix myself up a little bit. And then in the back of my mind, I was trying to think of a place where we could meet, to where it was a lot of people, because I didn't know him, and I'm not the kind of girl just to meet up with random guys, And so then on the way driving, I decided to tell him to meet me at the mall. So we decided to meet at the mall. And then I sat down at the bench in the front of the mall waiting for him to pull up. And then when he got out of his car, I was like, oh, he's a really good looking guy, and he had a good head on his shoulders. I could tell he was just the way he walked and the way he carried himself. And then we kind of just talked it out in the beginning, and that's when we decided where we're going to go eat or go somewhere else and sit down and kind of face each other and stuff.
Yeah.
First
the
impression.
Next question.
Who said I love you first?
What?
It says, who said I love you first?
Who said I love you first? It was me. Mm-hmm. So how it had happened was, it was like me, like in the room. I think we were in the room, and I had laughed at something. Mm-hmm. I laughed at something that like you had did, and then it kind of came out and just said, I love you. And then she looked at me like super like stale face, like, bruh. She looked at me with like stale face, like, are you sure? Because I take that very seriously.
Yeah, I was really serious about that.
So it kind of like caught her off guard.
It did.
And she had basically said, well, I'm not in love with you, but I got love for you. And that just like crushed me. I was just like, oh, that's kind of messed up, bro. So that was kind of our first
real moment
encounter
together.
when we had figured out,
Yeah, but then, I knew I was going to love him, but I just, I was actually in a previous relationship before him, and I was, battling that. And so I was trying to take it slow, with Chris. And so then eventually, it blossomed to something that was worth, waiting for, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question is, what is your So our next question is, what is our favorite physical feature about each other?
So I have a couple. I would say the first thing I notice about Chris is I love his eyes, because they look really, really like unique, and the shape of them look nice. And
it's the Filipino and half Filipino eyes.
Half Filipino eyes. And then the second thing, I really love his smile, because I feel like when he smiles, he really lights up the room, and it just looks he has nice full lips, and so
I'm literally glowing when I smile.
Yeah, you do. You have a really nice smile. It's a very friendly, warm smile. So I love his eyes, and I love the way he smiles.
So my favorite feature about Danielle, and this is something I first noticed like when I seen her like in the light, like when we had met up the first time. She has very, very pretty eyes. So her eyes are like almond shaped, and I'm not sure if you can kind of see it, in the camera very, very closely, but she has like very almond shaped, unique eyes, which is like the first thing that kind of caught my eye. When I seen her the first time we met up. And the second feature, her hair, it's kind of something that, you know, has really stood out as a really good physical feature of her. And yeah, it definitely shows a lot of personality in her hair.
Funness, like gives you that Diana Ross vibe.
Diana Ross.
No, because
Diana Ross's hair is like.
I know. Well, kind of like,
but
just that kind of like reminds you, just because it's like.
But yeah, bottom line,
yeah.
She has, in my personal opinion, she has very pretty hair, and that's just one of the things that, you know, that kind of caught my eye. Okay. I didn't kind of caught my eye, it caught my eye.
Aww.
So.
And I remember when we first met, I had these stunner shades on, and I had them on all day.
She had some.
I had the stunner shades on all day.
Check this out, yeah. When I first met her, she had these Mac Dre stunner shades on. And, oh, you know what she was wearing? You know what you were wearing? You were wearing Mac Dre stunner shades, some short shorts, and then some long boots.
Cowboy boots.
Some long boots. And I was just like, okay. You know, I was like, all right, like I could,
oh, man.
I'm like, all right, that's what she likes to wear. That's what she likes to wear. But nowadays, she doesn't dress like that. She's completely different.
Yeah,
so.
And I remember when I had the stunner shades on and it was time for us to leave, the sun was facing both of our direction. And he told me to take off my glasses. And then when I did, he said, oh, your eyes are hella pretty.
Oh, yeah, that was when we first,
yeah,
that's when we first had met.
Okay, so the next question is, where have we traveled to together?
So we've traveled to multiple places together. I think the first one was in like 2012 where we went to Disneyland. I think 2014 we went to the Bahamas, and that was like our first trip outside of the country. 2016 we had went to Dubai for our first time, and that was really special to me because I've always wanted to go to Dubai since I was like much younger. Bali in 2017, so Bali, Indonesia in 2017. We had went to Cabo in 2018 for Danielle's
30th birthday. Yeah.
2018 we went to Spain, so we went to Barcelona for our first time, and then we went to Ibiza, and that was definitely a special trip.
Yeah.
2019 is when we actually got married. So we got married this year in July, and we got married in Maui. And then for our honeymoon, we had went on a trip to the Caribbean where we went to Cozumel, Jamaica,
the
Bahamas, and then what was the last one?
Cozumel.
I don't know what the last one was.
Yeah.
I think it was like we had went to like four countries in the Caribbean. So
yeah.
So
that's just a little get to know us. It's short and brief, but we just kind of wanted to put our lives out there just a little bit, just to let you guys know who we are, and you know, to welcome us, hopefully with a friendly welcome, you know.
So we hope you guys stick around to kind of come with us along this journey, and thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.